my screen. So Kate, over to you to thing, right? Kate, you got to give me my share screen.
Yeah, done.
Hi. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there. I seem to have lost everyone. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, boss.
Okay. Am I still sharing screen?
No.
No, not yet.
Okay, sorry. I just dropped the line. Can you believe it? I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm back. As I was saying, for those that don't know me, my name is Michael Low. I'm the principal and owner of Shante Sanctuary. We are a functional medicine clinic in Kuala Lumpur. Functional medicine clinic is very different from mainstream allopathic. We're still very medical science-based practice. We look at systemic rather than symptomatic. So that way is very different. And we've been around for 7 years plus in Malaysia right now. But my career in the preventative healthcare business has been around a dozen years, okay? I'm also the founding partner as well as the principal for Shante Solutions in Singapore. That's the parent company. And we fundamentally deal with corporate executive health management. So we look at the C-suite's corporate executives' health, and we manage their stress, their sleep, their mental health, and vitality, meaning to say we strive towards optimizing their health so that they're able to perform in the very intensive stress corporate environment. That's what we do. A bit of my background, I've been the Senior Development Director of Octave in China, out of Shanghai and Suzhou. We developed a very luxurious medical facility with a 3.5 billion ringgit property development there. So it's a very, very upmarket product that I've developed there. I'm also the managing partner for Inside Shante in China, Suzhou, where we enter the market by way of offering what Shante Solutions in Singapore is offering. So we look at corporate executive health management. I was previously managing Villa Medica Internationals, which is a German stem cells, if not a regenerative medicine clinic. I've been their global and also group managing director for closing to 5 years. And prior to that, I've been the publisher for a very successful media known as Spa Asia for about 11 years. That's my background. Tonight's agenda, I will introduce a little bit of Dr. Colin Robertson with regards to an agenda tomorrow. Then I introduce the founders of Zinzino as well as the company. A little bit introduction on the Z Dream team. Tonight's topic is understanding or reading your balance test results. Now, most of you would have one way or the other came close or understood about the evidence-based nutraceutical science, or in this case, also better known or better interpreted as test-based nutrition. That's what the uniqueness about Zinzino has to offer. But a lot of us, when they receive the report after 14 days, the extraction of your blood is being processed, if not, processed in Norway. And when the result comes back, a lot of us just looks at one particular value, and that's your proportion of between omega-6 and omega-3. But there are other values that we have the privilege of having Dr. Shabnam this evening to explain to us what it means. That will be all for tonight's agenda, okay? So as I was saying just now, tomorrow we have the privilege and honor of listening to Dr. Colin Robertson. He's a new addition to the Zinzino family. He sits in the UK, and I guess he's working with a European in that sense. He comes with a vast history of experience, and he knows Zinzino products and its functions really, really well. Myself and also Dr. Shabnam had the privilege of talking with Dr. Colin a couple of weeks ago. So he's a very well-informed guy. So tomorrow at Malaysian time, 5 p.m., if you can dial up, he's going to share with us about what Zinzino's balanced oil is all about. So that's an interesting talk for us, okay? So bookmark this. We'll send this into the group chat so that you can click through for tomorrow, 5 p.m. So moving on, the motto of Zinzino is inspire change in life. I, for one, have been inspired by their uniqueness in delivering optimum function of nutraceuticals, which is also interpreted as a supplement. Now, their nutraceuticals, their supplements, is one of the, if not the highest performing product in the marketplace today, because it is not just omega-3, not just vitamin D3 and E combined in it, but with a very, very effective agent, and that is polyphenol. Polyphenol is a pre-harvested extract olive oil that helps the omega-3 oil to perform on its optimal level. You look at all the, or most, in fact, 99%, 9 out of 10 of the guys that we look at the outside over-the-counter omega-3 oils that everyone's been taking for years, none of them has polyphenol combined with it. Now, polyphenol, as you already should know by now, is a very powerful antioxidant, and it's also helping many different functions in our health, not just protecting the performance of omega-3, okay? It extends the omega-3 efficacy or lifespan for up to 6 times longer before it gets oxidated, or also known as rancid, okay? So that's the product that they have, and it's so inspiring that I never have gotten into any of these businesses, have gotten attracted to them, and in addition to their evidence-based nutraceutical science. So you get tested, you know what you're taking, for a period of time you get tested again to see that dramatic improvement. Now, they have known to have seen 95% improvement in all the participants or all the customers using the test, and also while consuming the oil, with no less than 60% improvement. That's a massive, massive results that we see, okay? So in that case, in that event, it has fundamentally just swept me off my feet, if you like. Now, Zinzino is 16 years old. I'm going to introduce now the founders of the entire company. Oren and Hilda, they are Norwegian, Swedish. Sorry, I beg your, from Sweden. Swedish is what I'm talking about. Sorry, from Sweden. They founded the company 16 years ago, and just within these last 6 years, started to bring the whole business into a little bit of an MLM business and try to globalize it. And their globalized efforts has just only saw them arriving the shores of Hong Kong and China October last year, and they are now just opening up Malaysia, Singapore, and a couple of neighboring countries are in the pre-launch phase. So the soft launch is expected to come in April or May, right? So now in Malaysia, we already have an office, a warehouse, which is fabulous. It's here to support us. But in addition to that, we have added something special for people participating within this community. So Oren and Hilda have actually not just created the balance oil, the balance test, and also the serum that you know of. This is only just for now limited to Malaysia, but they have a whole suite of really interesting products that I've gotten to read, but I've not tried it myself. So I can't wait to get my hands onto it. So I'm hoping that our colleagues and friends in Europe will be able to help us to at least sample it beforehand, okay? So that's Hilda and Oren. And as I mentioned just now, Zinzino is hubbed in Sweden, and they have been around for 16 years, and they have 37 open markets, and they're aiming towards a dozen to 15 countries per year. So they are on this very fast track in expansion, if not in opening up the world. So we are very, very fortunate that we are one of the earlier countries they are opening up in this part of the world, okay? So that's very exciting. They are also listed in the European NASDAQ. So they are very well performing. They have no less than double-digit kind of growth on a year. I've looked at the stock. So, hey guys, I tell you, there are a lot of companies out in the world that I've looked at. This company is worth looking at their stocks. I've started to investigate their stock on the board in NASDAQ, and their performance is, as I've said, year on year on a very promising growth. So if you're into shares, not that I am, but if you're into shares, into stock of promising companies, this is one to look at. All right. So good luck on that. Check them out. Okay. So that's the company. So now most of you are a part of the community that I've set up. When I first joined through the invitation of Judy, a darling friend of ours sitting in Hong Kong, I didn't know what to do. I've never been into MLM before, and I realized that something that we really, really need is a community support one for another. So I created Z Dream Team, Zinzino Dream Team here in Malaysia. So under this community that we have, we strive to not just add more years into people's life, but add more life into their years. So meaning to say, interpreted simply, we're trying to increase the quality of everyone's life, right? So living long and sick is not the way forward. Living old enough, living long with quality of life without diseases, that's the real way of living and enjoying a quality life, right? That's our mission. So for the few of you, I can't see the list now on this screen. For the list of you that's new to the group, or if not Z Dream Team, what we have provided for partners within this community is your personalized presentation. You get your personalized e-card. You have a proper professional induction in schedule. You have empowering and educational sessions. So tonight is just one of them. We are continuously building a wide variety of educational talks to empower you. One thing I've come to realize is a lot of us or a lot of them out there rather, in the MLM market network, is they're selling a lot of great products, but very few far in between really understands health. So I find that in the past, at least because I'm in the health business, I find that a lot of time when I'm being approached by a lot of all these MLMers out there, they undersell the performance of the health values, but they always push the product really, really hard and then show a lot of before and after photographs. But a lot of us now are a lot more intelligent. Consumerism market has actually scaled up almost 8-fold since 10 years ago with regards to their own health status, right? So if we are to be a true successful MLMer, I believe the foundation starts from each and every one of us. So with that, and because of our clinical background, what we want to do is to offer, excuse me, offer every partner the opportunity to get themselves empowered. That's the key that we're trying to do. All right. So there are also trainings for the back office. We try a couple of attempts. So we're redesigning our back office training sessions. So we are inviting the managing director for Asia, Mr. Kenneth Ko. We have Christine from Norway. Jude is also able to help us to better understand and put into perspective what the back office, meaning your compensation plan, is all about and how to manage your back office, so to speak. But it doesn't stop there. What we have also is dedicated back office support. Marvin, a colleague of ours, is in charge of that. So most of you would have by now, one way or the other, made contact with Marvin. Marvin is there to help us, but we should also be able to learn to stand on our feet over time, okay? We have clinical nurse support. So Catherine, or also known as Kate, she's a wonderful nurse, very educational, very knowledgeable. She's also here to help us, all right? So because we have a clinic as a backdrop, I realized that all of us need a little bit better support. So I've opened up Shante Sanctuary Clinic to all business partners under Z-Dream team. And in addition to that, have extended arterial health stress index, RC, free of charge. It's a 400 ringgit assessment that we charge out of the clinic. But now I'm extending this to all business partners as well as your customers. I'll tell you why in a moment, okay? So this is a very great equipment used to measure heart rate variability. Fundamentally, what it means is it measures the inflammation state of your entire health. So your inflammatory state of your health. It gives us a very close and very quick, 3 minutes only, a little clip on the finger, allows us to tell you what is your stress level, what is your stress resistance, what is your autonomic profiles, meaning are you the fighter or the flighter. It looks at your parasympathetic and your sympathetic profiles, if you may. But above all, it actually looks at your arterial health status. So this allows us to very quickly talk about the Zinzino product. Now, if you understand a little bit about the omega-6 out of the omega-3 disproportion, you quickly understand that the excess huge amount of omega-6 that we have in our system today contributes towards inflammation. So the state of our inflammation status within our health is the underlying cause to most of the chronic diseases. So if you have a very quick 3-minute assessment that tells you the state of your inflammation, which directly reflects on your either A, your potential to have chronic diseases, or B, that you already have chronic diseases, okay? So this is a quick way to help all business partners to convert, if not realize, for your customers, the need to consume the balanced oil, okay? So Kate is in the clinic all the time, and she's more than happy to do this test free of charge. It's worth 400 ringgit, but for everyone, it's free of charge for you to easily start a conversation with your clients. Now, so far we have quite a few already taking advantage of this offer, but there are some still not able to meet or be able to bring their customers to the clinic for whatever reason there may be. It could very well be because of the MCO here in Malaysia or in Kuala Lumpur, but we're more than happy to issue a letter of invitation for you to come to the clinic, which is very useful for all the roadblocks that you may face. But I understood that nowadays it's lesser and lesser blocks, okay? So, but in any case, we're willing to issue an invitation letter for you to enjoy this assessment as well as for your customers, okay? So please take advantage of that. So Shante Sanctuary Clinic can also act as a hub for you to receive goods, or in this case here, when you are not having your goods yet in hand or you ran out of goods, we're able to loan you some inventory of ours, okay? Now in the making at the moment, so next month, I'm hoping to launch the Master Transformation Program so that you are able to invite your members of family and even friends out there that is one way or the other being compromised under the pandemic situation we have with regards to their career. Some of them have lost their jobs. Some of them are feeling very insecure of their jobs. And a lot of them are really not being very clear as to where and how they're going to perform. So the transformation program is designed to help them find their bearing. So we give them a self-navigation training where they are motivated and they are able to evaluate their situation a lot clearer. That's one module. The second module is what I mentioned just now. We will provide them a dummy's guide to optimum health. So that would help them to better understand what the entire health system requires for them to communicate with people out there. So we empower them with personal health data or information in this case here. So that's second. The third module is to help them to understand the business world. Excuse me. A lot of them are working for many, many years, but don't quite understand the mechanics of running a company or a business. So we help them understand that. So that's a short module to help them understand. And the fourth module is we give them a business to run, and that is the Zinzino business. So that helps you to find better partners out there and be able to, for us to grow the market a lot faster. So I'm 1 month away from completing this module, okay? Now, you may also like to know that we are potentially able to provide a grant for it. So meaning to say they will be able to attend this program free of charge. They have to be A, Malaysian, B, well, it doesn't matter, B, because they have to be employed or unemployed. In the past, they have to be totally unemployed, but now they can also be employed while they get onto this incentive. So this is a big plus for everyone. So this is something that we have been working on and we'll deliver it next month, okay? So the team that we have here, so you know me now, we have Luke out there, and Luke has a vast background in cellular medicine, energy medicine, as well as water. He understands how water heals the body very well. So Luke is a partner here, and he's really taking Zinzino by storm at the moment across Kuala Lumpur. You have Marvin. Marvin, as I mentioned just now, is the back office gentleman that helps all of us get our back office, our orders, our registrations, our name change and everything else put in place. Joanne is my assistant, and she's also looking after communications. So all the flashcards that you see and all the information that we publish is done by Joanne. And Kate or Catherine, you already know, as I mentioned, is our nurse. Now, as a Zinzino partner, when you sign up, there is a whole suite of very easy step-by-step understanding of what the back office is all about. What are the available tools for you in your welcome kit? All right. So when you sign up, you get not just an acknowledgement from Zinzino, but also a very useful information pack from Z Dream team. Along with it, we provide partners very easy flashcards. So if you like a very simple flashcard that you send out to your friends or customers or partners. Like, for example, the one on the left is a very straightforward point form. What is the balanced oil? Then what is the balanced test kit? What is the serum, skin serum, as well as a very simple explanation of what is polyphenol and what is vitamin D and so on and so forth. Yeah. And the importance, I see that the importance of being in balance between omega-6 and 3. So informations are very readily available for you to help you make that transition with your customer base or your associates, okay? Also with it is the sales support that we have. Very easy, simplified package that you can sell to your customers. So here we've designed, 9 months offer, 3 months or 4 months offer, and so on and so forth. These are all packages made simple for you to communicate. I understand that a lot of us finds it a little bit difficult when we come to, so which product to buy, how to start. So these are quick starter kit for you to go out and put on the people's table and say, we recommend this model, this product, or this package to purchase, okay? So there will be also a generic, a generalized form that you have your customers to fill in. Now, that's not all. Zinzino provides us through the Z for free, when you qualify for that, a web store and web tools, okay? We personalize that for you to make it easier for you. In addition, we have the e-card, which is the one on the handphone there, that allows you quite easily to send out with your personalized photograph, contact details, and the QR code for your customers to scan or click through directly into your web store, which is something that I find is so useful. And this is the offer that we extend to you, every Z-Dream partners, all right? Of course, that goes without saying that there's a whole bunch of videos that we will compile. We have Z-Dream Team Facebook, we have Z-Dream Team YouTube that I should actually be sharing with you. So after this call, we'll send up links on the WhatsApp group for you to click through. So now we all talk about the balance tests, and tonight I have invited our very dear doctor colleague. Her name is Dr. Shabnam. She works with Shante, and she's also a partner. She is very knowledgeable. She is a functional medicine for the last several years. Dr. Shabnam this evening will be sharing with you how to read your balance test report. So, oops, sorry, I started even before that. So I invite Dr. Shabnam to talk to you. Dr. Shabnam, are you there? I will click for you when you tell me.
All right, will do. All right, so good evening, everyone. Okay, so today we're going to take a bit of a deeper look at comprehending the balance test results. Okay, so what you must understand is when you buy your balance test kit, in it will be a code, all right? You need to retain that code. Please keep it in a safe place, take a photo and save it, because your test kit can only be identified by this code. It does not bear your name. So this is very important, okay? So when you get your test kit, the most important component will be the dried blood spot test card, which has a cover, the disposable lancet, okay? And there'll be an aluminum foil to pack your card in before you post it off to HQ. And HQ will send it once a week to Oslo for your results. So it's very important that you retain your code so that there is no problem in retrieving your results. Right, next please, Michael. Michael, next please. Thank you. Okay, so when you get your test report, the front of it will bear the test ID, the date that you submitted, your country, your gender, and your age, and whether or not you're on specific omega-3 supplements. Okay, next please. So this test highlights these important insights. Number one is if you're in the danger zone or not. All right. Now, many of us in our population, we are not of optimal balance. The average Asian has a balance ratio omega-6, omega-3 of about 12.5:1. The optimal balance is a ratio of 3:1 or less. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to learn from this test. Ideally, we want to have more omega-3 and less omega-6 in our systems, because omega-3 fatty acids, they help us to recover, they help us to regenerate, they help make good hormones. Omega-6, some of it is needed to protect the body. I'll elaborate more on this shortly. But when there is too much, it pushes for inflammation and swelling, which is sets the stage for disease. Okay. So the beauty of Zinzino balance test is they've done so many tests, at least 500,000 tests, and they already have statistics where then only less than 5% have a ratio of 3:1 or less. The majority of us still have very abnormal ratios. Okay, so we'll go into the test parameters now. Next, please, Michael. All right, so the very first part of your test shows you a summary of everything that the test looks into. Your omega-6:3 balance, your protection value, your omega-3 index, your mental strength, cell membrane fluidity, and arachidonic acid index. So we'll look into each parameter carefully. Next page, please. All right, so here we have someone's test result, and it shows that they have a semi-balanced ratio of 8.6:1. So if you look at the spectrum that's shown here, red is, of course, undesirable, yellow is moderate, and green is optimal. So everyone should aspire to be in the green area. So an optimal result is where you have an omega-6:3 ratio of less than 3:1. So here we have someone with a ratio of 8.6:1, and it's leaning towards the undesirable spectrum, end of the spectrum, sorry. So how do we improve this result? You cut back on omega-6 intake in your diet, and you increase your omega-3. You can increase your omega-3 by means of eating fatty fish on a regular basis and taking balanced oil. Cutting back on omega-6 means taking out all the fried foods, vegetable oil-based foods from your diet. Okay, next, please. All right, now, many studies have shown that omega-3 fatty acids are needed to support brain health. So the more omega-3 we get from our diet, the better the brain health. So in children, this means better brain development. In the hardworking office-going adult, this means better work, better memory, better focus. And in the older population, this can help to prevent neurodegenerative diseases like dementia, right? So in this particular result, you have the person having a ratio of 2.7:1, and it's towards the red end of the spectrum. So as this person's age is 67, they would do better having a better protection for mental strength. So again, this can be rectified with the balanced oil. Next slide, please. All right, now cell membrane fluidity. Let me try to explain. Human body is made up of thousands and thousands of cells, and every cell has a semi-permeable membrane. This membrane has to be selectively permeable. Sometimes it allows the influx of nutrients, and at other times it has to keep out undesirable particles from entering. Okay, so the older we get, understandably, the more rigid this membrane becomes. So there must be a balance between the essential fatty acids of omega-6 and 3 to allow this fluidity to be retained as we age. All right, so here, the result is an insufficient cell membrane fluidity. So when the cells are too rigid, they cannot get the nutrients that they need easily, and this speeds up dysfunction and aging. Again, this is where balanced oil can push this towards the green end of the spectrum. Next slide, please. All right, now arachidonic acid. This is actually an omega-6 fatty acid, which is important for normal function of the body. All right, arachidonic acid triggers the making of local tissue chemicals, all those chemicals that are involved in the immune response, like your prostaglandins, thromboxanes, etc. So you must have just enough. Having too little means you cannot mount a sufficient response when you're injured or infected, and having too much sets the stage for inflammation and therefore heart disease, diabetes, etc. So this index helps to show whether you're within that therapeutic range or not. So we want to be between 6.5 to 9.5. Here, this result shows a percentage of 11.3%, which leans towards the excess end of the spectrum. So with the intake of balanced oil, this result will improve and go downwards towards the green zone. Next slide, please. All right, now protection value is something that Zinzino balance test uses to give you an overall idea of how protected you are with regard to fatty acids in your body. Okay, so an ideal protection value is above 90%. Here, this result shows a very insufficient value. This means that there is a very, the omega-3 level is too low to confer sufficient protection relative to the omega-6. Again, this can be rectified with balanced oil. Next, please. Finally, at the end of your report, you get a very detailed report of the individual fatty acids that have been looked at. So you have 2 kinds of saturated fat, 1 kind of omega-9, the 4 kinds of omega-6 fatty acids, and the 4 kinds of omega-3 fatty acids. So in this report, there is a slight excess of both saturated fats, okay? A lack of omega-9. Now, omega-9 is something that your body can also synthesize on its own. So when omega-3 and omega-6 are in the proper balance, your body will pick up and create its own omega-9. Now, the omega-6 here, if you can see, is in gross excess. All right, the GLA here is 112% above the target value. All right, same goes for the arachidonic acid and the dihomo gamma linoleic acid. So these are the fatty acids. When allowed to be in excess, they perpetuate disease, right? Meanwhile, for the omega-3, everything is under, it's not sufficient. So everything from the alpha like linoleic acid to DHA and EPA is low. So when you know these values, then you know that you have to take steps. You have to cut back the omega-6 in your diet. You have to be regular, take your balance all daily. And in 120 days, practically everyone sees significant improvements. Okay, I think that's the end of the test bit. And part of the test report is they will give you some useful dietary advice and elaboration on all the parameters so that you can read again and understand your results. Next page, please. All right, again, this is another summary of your parameters and what they mean. And finally, a guide on how to change your diet. And all the different sources of fatty acids from the diet. So generally, what you want to do is to have a more plant-dominant diet. At least 50% of your plate should be filled with vegetables and plants, plant-based foods. All right. Do limit processed foods because anything that has a long shelf life tends to have omega-6 fatty acids added to it. And this is what has brought about the huge imbalance in the first place. All right, and I think that's towards the end of the report already. Yes. This is just telling you the details on how prostaglandins are made, what is oxidative stress, etc. And they are very well researched and they are backed by scientific evidence. These are all their references.
I think the last few pages are just generic information
Yes.
to better empower you to understand what Zinzino can do for you. Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Doc.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Well, guys, that's the presentation for this evening. As I mentioned before, each meeting I'm trying to contain the call to 45 minutes for us to deliver. But it seems like each time we start at 8:15, so we're almost on time. But what I like to do is to take this opportunity to open the chat group to any Q&A while we have Dr. Shabnam in the group right now. Is there other doctors in the group chat here? Is Dr. Surya here? Surya? Luke?
I had a look. I had a look. I didn't see her yet a while ago.
Okay, all right, not to worry.
She's fairly busy.
We have Dr. Imam, but we won't expose her. Anyway, is there any question from the group, please?
I think
well,
there's
a lot of us. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I think there's a question on the chat.
Oh, sorry.
From Judy. Hi, Judy. So your first test had a 8.1% for the omega-6 to 3 balance, I think.
Sorry, it should be AA. I forgot to type down AA.
Okay. So if it's arachidonic acid, besides the diet, did you go through a process, maybe an episode of injury or illness that might have raised your inflammation?
No, maybe skin rash.
Any medication for the skin rash?
No.
Any gross changes in diet? Did you?
No.
Just been festivities and all. Okay. What about your tummy? Any issues with digestion?
Not really. No.
Well, it's an increase of about 2%.
Yeah.
I would look again at your diet, look for hidden omega-6 fatty acids. Sometimes in this, if you happen to take this multigrain beverage preparations, so-called health preparations, they tend to have hidden omega-6 sources.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so do take a look at anything you might be doing regularly, maybe the once or twice a week if you're taking, say, for instance, a soya bean product or something. Take a look again at the ingredients. Sometimes they do not list if they have omega-6 inside.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So take a look at that again. But yeah, we want to keep the arachidonic acid lower as far as possible, between 6 to 9.
Okay. Because the lanolic, the palmitic was dropped between 1 and 2 quite drastic, about 7%.
I see.
But the AA suddenly surged up. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Maybe it's a relative increase, but do take a look again at the diet. And if you like, just send me your results. Let me have a look as well.
Yeah, I send the full. I send the full one.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hi, Doctor.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, just 2 questions. With the main result there that's on screen, would it be an assumption that if you improve, say, let's say someone was 18 to 1 on their main omega-6 to 3, and then they did the 120 days and they're really lucky and they went for 3 to 1, perfect, would that be affecting all these other markers, do you think? Or they're going to get better at simultaneously? Because once you balance out that, is that going to start balancing the others out, or is that not going to affect them at all?
By others, you mean the other parameters in this test?
Yes, the other 5 squares underneath the ratio.
They should all improve, except perhaps for the arachidonic acid index and maybe the cell membrane fluidity. The others should quickly improve, the way I understand it.
Okay, so that means after 4 months, then you would go for working on the other markers. So if you've got that 1, 2, 3 boxes or 2 boxes, great. Then you look deeper into someone like yourself how to, let's work in that box now and then work in the next box, and how to do that with nutrition, etc.
Well, yes, that would be the way, because I doubt it can address everything in one go,
Yes.
especially if there's such a huge imbalance.
But possible they some of them will improve. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's an assumption. Number two, my background is it definitely going to increase ATP production once you get the 3-to-1? Are we going to increase more ATP production in the cells?
Theoretically, yes, but you need.
Theoretically.
Sorry?
Theoretically, is there any way to know?
Theoretically, it should increase, but we must remember that apart from your essential fatty acids, you have other rate limiters in ATP production. You have to look at niacin, for example, vitamin B3, which is a master player in energy production. You also have to look at magnesium. So again, it has to be a holistic approach. But in theory, omega-3 fatty acids do improve ATP production.
Last question. How can somebody measure their ATP production in KL?
It's a good question.
Yeah, if we could do that, wouldn't that be great? Like another measurement base.
It would be amazing, but to directly measure ATP production for someone who has no access to, for instance, an energy lab, I'm not sure.
Yeah, cannot do it to the public. It's like a laboratory test.
Well, a rudimentary test would be you run on you give yourself a time limit. You run on the treadmill, and if in the next time you test yourself and you can run more in the same amount of time, then you've increased ATP production.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions from anyone else? Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, please take note of Dr. Colin Robertson's talk tomorrow at 5 p.m. Malaysian time. Check the group chat. There will be a link made available for you to access to his talk. I think this will be, if not the first for Asia or for Malaysia group. He has, in the recent past, made a couple of talks already before. So join the talk tomorrow for your better understanding of his topic is separating facts from fiction. I guess it's everything about, you know, the facts and fiction of omega-3 oil, of which you will also hear from him, an expert, how most of the omega-3 oils that you buy outside or your family members of the family has been consuming is not working. I've come to realize, and this may be a very strong word to use, that most of the omega-3 oil over the counter are scams. So will be very interesting. I don't know what he's going to talk about, but I hope we will come to the same conclusion tomorrow from Dr. Collins. Okay. So once again, I offer this opportunity for any questions from the floor or from the network, please. Okay. Next week, well, sorry, let's talk about this week. Friday, we'll get back to the customers talk for this Friday. So invite all your customers in. We'll publish the link again, maybe by tomorrow for Friday. So every Friday is for customer. Every
Michael.
Monday is for, hi.
Friday.
Huh?
Friday is Chap Gourmet.
Ayo, another one. You see, last week we had the Hokkien party, right? And then the week before we had some Chinese New Year party. So every Friday is a party. Should we move it to, what do you guys think? Should we move it to a Saturday evening for this week? Because then we'll lost 2 weeks of customers. So, all right, guys, let's just for this week, we'll move the Friday talk to Saturday. And I was going to say, if you have any ideas how or which angle or which perspective you'd like to learn more, please send us a message or directly PM me or Marvin or Kate would be just nicely so that we can actually design it properly. Now, this week, there's only 2 talks plus the ad hoc Dr. Collins talk. next week onwards, Monday will be our partners talk. I'm going to invite Kenneth Cole back again on a Tuesday for a half an hour talk on his Malaysian compensation plan model. So let's give him the benefit of doubt. And also next Friday will be the customer talk, okay? Now we had planned this evening to speak to a friend of ours from Penang, Mr. GT Tan, but I think we're gonna move that to next week so that we can focus on the compensation plan and the various models on how the binary system works and his opinion or his perspective of how we are able or to be best tackling this particular business, okay? As I've also mentioned earlier, we are producing a deck of very simple slides to help new partners to make that transition for your first 30, 60 days kind of a progress that will get you to a very comfortable position for you to launch your business, if not your career, out of Zinzino, okay? So that's all I have for you guys. Oh, hang on, there is a chat, let me see. Oh, okay, all right, okay, that's Jude's Chap Gourmet. They say, all right, so this Friday we'll move it to Saturday, okay? So that's it from me. Any questions, last questions? Right, we just made 1 hour and 3 minutes, or 45 minutes in this case here. So I thank you all for your time once again. Please contact us if you need any support, any help whatsoever. We're only too pleased to do it, to support you. And we can only succeed through our collective efforts, okay? So we're here to help you. So signing off, and thank you all for your time. Oh, hang on, there's another chat. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Lukey.
Lukey Pookie. How's Luca the dog?